Man, it seems like every single game I touch just goes to I'm just kidding, guys. But what's up? Welcome, everybody, to my latest video. We're going to be talking about Crucible today and a little bit of Vault and post-Paragon projects, just to tie it back at the end. But it is going to be mostly Crucible. So, if you guys do enjoy that video, please drop a like, and let's get right into it. What I'm talking about today is Crucible's faulty launch. Remember, I made like a whole honest, review about it and kind of talked about that a little bit. But today in this video, I want to focus more on what we can learn from it, what other games can learn from it, what other game developers can learn from it, and kind of go from there. So to kind of review a little bit, Crucible, I still have a lot of fun playing it. I still really enjoy the game. I think the game has a lot of potential, and I think it can be a very, very, very fun game to watch at a highly competitive level. There's a very high skill ceiling, and I do see a lot of potential. But from the general perspective, from the playability perspective, it still needs a lot of work. There are optimization issues where you even have these monster PCs having a hard time going past 90 FPS, which for a competitive shooter on PC is a really big no-no. You should be going to 120, 144 at least, because people have all these crazy hertz monitors, and to have it pretty much be capped at 60 FPS or even sometimes go under 60 FPS when you're in these crazy fights is definitely not ideal in 2020, and that's kind of the biggest killer when it comes to this game, as to why a lot of people just can't stand playing it. And that's for the people who actually do end up getting into the game. A lot of people can't meet the minimum spec requirements with their computers because maybe they just have laptops, or maybe they just don't have the strongest of towers. And so that's another thing, is that the game just needs to be more accessible. And right now, when it comes to the lowest settings, it's just not very well optimized there as well. And of course, new player onboarding can be improved as well. They could, do better things when it comes to teaching the game modes and the gameplays. They said that they're working on that as well. They said they're working on bringing the voice chat into the game, which is also incredibly necessary, especially for a competitive game. And they are going to bring in a ranked mode come Season 1, maybe even a little earlier if they do end up speeding that up. Now, I wanted to do that little recap before getting into the actual lesson of this video, because if you take a look at Steam right now, you take a look at the concurrent players on Steam, you take a look at the top peak viewers, top peak players in the recent 24 hours, you'll notice it's not doing that well. In the Twitch categories, it's usually under 1,000 unless there's a sponsored streamer streaming it, and then it goes up to 1,500. And then it's the end of that. After a couple hours, it goes back down to under 1,000. So the game is not in this grandiose state, even though you had crazy streamers like Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo, Nadeshot, TSM, Myth, basically all the big name streamers streaming it. You even had Shroud streaming it on Mixer. Okay, you just had everybody, right? Amazon's pockets run deep, and so they just, reached down in there into the marketing budget and said, here you go. We have all this moolah, go out and market the game. But that is where the lesson here lies, ladies and gentlemen and toasters. If you have a lot of money, that doesn't mean anything at all if your game can't stand on its own two legs. You can have all the marketing power in the world. You could put it in front of all the eyes you want to put it in front of. But people are not going to stick with it if they play it and it just doesn't work for them. They had that rough launch as well, where servers would not work, and that didn't help either. It just really ruined the first impression for a lot of people. And again, a lot of people expected this game to do really well and be super perfectly optimized from the get-go because it's Amazon Studios, right? It's Amazon's first big game that's releasing. And Relentless Studios is the actual developer. They're being published by Amazon, but they're pretty much a proprietary developer to Amazon. Relentless has very close ties to Amazon, and they kind of go hand in hand when it comes to that. So they are kind of showing the face of Amazon with their game developer studios, and a lot of people expected something grandiose, something crazy, something epic, for lack of a better term, like Epic Games when they came out with Paragon, or they came out with Fortnite. It came out and it was a really solid game from the get-go. Yeah, they weren't perfect, but they added on to it, right? And so that's the thing, where you just need to get to that point where at least it's playable and it's good enough, and then you can improve it along the way and make it even better and better. That's fine. But when you can't even break 60 FPS on most systems, then that really turns off a large portion of the audience. And so what is the lesson in all this? Well, like I said, no matter how many eyes you have looking at your thing, if the game sucks, if the game's trash, if people don't want to play it, they're not going to play it. Like, yeah, you're going to have some people stick around, but it's not going to be a good conversion ratio, okay? It's not going to be a good ratio of people finding the game, trying it for the first time, and then actually sticking with it and playing it long enough to buy the cosmetics, buy the microtransactions, get involved in the ranked mode, buy some more skins when they come out, right? It's all about that player retention, which is why so many games fail, because they just cannot retain enough players. There's so many video games out there, so many great games to play. So what's stopping little old Timmy from ditching Crucible and going back to playing Warzone or Grand Theft Auto or Minecraft or whatever, right? You gotta vie for the attentions of these gamers, and you gotta make sure that your game is at least working up to standard in 2020, right? You don't have games under 60 FPS anymore unless they're, I don't know, like a Nintendo Switch, like some Nintendo Switch games, right, are still under 60 FPS because it's Nintendo and it's like a handheld system or whatever. But console games, PC games, that's the standard, 1080p, 60 FPS. Anything lower than that, might as well consider it trash in a lot of people's eyes, okay? And so that's super duper important. And I want to tie that back over to Fault and Overprime and all these post-Paragon projects, spiritual successors, whatever you want to call them, that are trying to get the games out. A lot of people want these games on console. A lot of these people want these games in front of a lot of people's eyes. And even though these indie developers don't have the same marketing power as Amazon, if one of these games gets out on the PlayStation Store and it's free and a lot of people see it and they download it and the game is just really, really bad, they're not going to stick with it, and there's just no point. And then all that effort, all that time making that game, it goes to shambles because that first impression is so important. It's so hard to bring people back to the game. Even after the game gets a little better, it's so hard to get people back unless you do another crazy big marketing campaign, which is, I think, what Crucible is just going to be forced to do at this point once they optimize their game better, once they add ranked mode, once they add like the next character, the next battle pass for Season 1, we can expect another very large marketing push out of them. But it is a little upsetting, and it's a little scary seeing the game tank so much, so quickly, so early after basically the first week. And it sucks because I do see a lot of potential for this game, and I don't want to see more game studios shut down and more games shut down because just of how picky gamers are nowadays. But again, it's not just the gamers' fault. The game definitely needed a little bit more polish before getting released, especially with such a big marketing push behind it. And I hope that Fault and Overprime and Predecessor and Core, any other post-Paragon project out there, I really hope they take a look at this and do make it really, really good in PC, right? Like, clear it up of bugs, make it good to play, take their time, and then when they do that second launch for consoles, the game is playable. It's like Paragon when we first got our hands on it with the Founders Packs in March 2016. So, I don't know, I wanted to throw out this little discussion video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you guys think of Crucible? Are you going to go back to it if they improve on these things that I listed? What do you guys think of Fault and the other projects that I cover here on this channel? And in general, just let me know your thoughts. I would love to read them. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Also, I stream each and every single weekday on Twitch, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Go ahead and hit the follow button over there. Join the Discord to get notified anytime I go live with a video and or Twitch live stream. And as always, make sure you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace. Yo, I'm out. Help me. No, she's not. She's not gonna get me. Hell no, brother. I'm using a med. Yo, I was at